Welcome to Module 3. In this module, we will be focusing on the different routes of petitioning for your green card. Either you use an immigration attorney or lawyer, or the DIY, also known as the do-it-yourself approach. In both routes, we will be discussing about the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros and cons of using an immigration attorney. Deciding whether to hire an attorney is a significant choice that can impact your application process. Let's explore the benefits and drawbacks to help you make an informed decision. Applying for an EB-2 NIW can be complex, and many applicants wonder if they should hire an immigration attorney or lawyer. There are definitely advantages, but there are also potential downsides. So let's start with the pros or advantages of using an immigration attorney or lawyer. The first is expertise and knowledge. Immigration attorneys or lawyers bring expertise and knowledge to the table. They also have the specialized knowledge of immigration laws and procedures, which can be incredibly beneficial in navigating the complexities of the EB-2 National Interest Waiver process. They stay up to date with the latest changes in the immigration policies in the US, ensuring that your application complies with the current regulations. Because they have handled many similar cases, attorneys can anticipate potential issues and address them proactively regarding your case. Most importantly, they can provide strategic advice tailored to your specific situation, which enhances your application strength and also your chances of approval. Attorneys have a deep understanding of the specific requirements and nuances of the EB-2 National Interest Waiver process, which can help you in ensuring all criteria are met. Let's talk about application preparation and submission. Another significant advantage is the thorough preparation and submission of your application, which is very important here. Attorneys can help you gather and prepare all the necessary documents, ensuring that nothing is overlooked. They would also ensure that your application is complete and accurate, which would reduce the risk of errors that could lead to delays or denials. They can also help complete and file the forms correctly and promptly, ensuring compliance with all the procedural requirements. Attorneys know how to organize and present evidence effectively to make a compelling case. They will follow up on your application and respond to any request for additional information or evidence promptly. Let's look at the third pros or advantage, which is legal representation. Having an attorney also means you have legal representation. What that means is if issues arise such as request for evidence, also known as RFE, or an appeal, an attorney can represent you and handle communications with USCIS on your behalf. They can advocate for your case, presenting the strongest possible argument for why your petition should be approved. Attorneys can handle any complications that may arise during the process, ensuring that your application remains on track. They are very experienced, most of them, in responding to RFEs or requests for evidence in a way that effectively addresses USCIS concerns. And if your application is denied, an attorney can represent you in the appeals process, increasing your chances of a favorable outcome. Let's talk about the peace of mind here. Perhaps one of the most valuable benefits is the peace of mind. And I always tell people who I consult with, knowing that an expert is handling your case can reduce stress and give you the confidence that your application is in good hands. Attorneys provide ongoing support throughout the process, answering any questions and addressing concerns. They can help you understand what to expect, at each stage, reducing uncertainty and anxiety. And having professional guidance can help you feel more secure about your chances of success. An attorney's involvement definitely helps in minimizing mistakes that could jeopardize your application. Lastly, the efficient process management in this process. Attorneys can manage the process very efficiently because they have the experience and have worked on multiple cases. They would ensure all deadlines are met and then keep the process on schedule. They would handle the administrative task, freeing you up to focus on other aspects of your life. Attorneys coordinate with various agencies and stakeholders, ensuring smooth communication on your behalf. What they also do is they track the progress of your application and keep you informed of any updates, even though this also is one of your responsibilities to do. Attorneys maintain and manage your documentation, ensuring everything is well organized and accessible. Now, let's talk about the cons or disadvantages. Or let's look at the potential downsides. Let's start with what everybody's thinking about cost. Hiring an immigration attorney can be expensive. Fees can range from a few thousands to over tens of thousands of dollars depending on the complexity of your case. There may also be additional expenses for things like documentation, translations, and filing fees. Most attorneys require substantial upfront payment. Some would spread it over for you, but still, it can be a financial strain. There might be ongoing costs if the process takes longer than expected. Now, what you need to weigh is the cost against the potential benefit, considering whether you can handle the process yourself versus going with an attorney. Another disadvantage or con here is the availability. Most attorneys, most of them often they have busy schedules, which might mean you have to wait for responses or even appointments. And if your attorney has many clients, which most of the time most attorneys working in this space they do, you might not always get the personalized attention you need. There can be delay in communications, which can be a little bit frustrating and stressful. You might find it hard to access your attorney when you need them the most. Good thing is, good attorneys are often in high demand. That it means it's a good thing, right? But it makes it challenging to secure their services. Another disadvantage here is relying too much on an attorney can also be a disadvantage. You might feel less involved in your own application process, which can lead to a lack of understanding of the details of your case. There is also a risk of becoming overly dependent on your attorney for decisions that you could make yourself. You might feel you have less control over the application process. Being less involved means you might not be fully aware of all of the aspects of your application, and you might over rely on your attorney, which means you might be missing out on learning opportunities. And I went ahead of myself with the next downside or the next disadvantage of using an immigration attorney or lawyer. There is always a risk of miscommunication. Always. It happens. If there are misunderstandings or errors in communications, it could lead to delays or mistakes in your application. Ensuring clear and consistent communication with your attorney is so vital and essential to avoid these issues. Miscommunications can lead to unmet expectations, which definitely would cause a lot of frustration. And if there are language barriers, that can also complicate the communication process. But I don't anticipate this that much. You might also misunderstand certain instructions or requirements if the communication is not clear. That is why you have to keep checking up on them if something is not clear. Last but not least, the quality of service can vary significantly between attorneys. Not all attorneys have the same level of experience and expertise, and you should expect to find some of these on the market. Some attorneys might have better reputations and track records than the others, and the quality of service you will receive can vary, impacting your overall experience. Most importantly, you need to do thorough research to find a reputable attorney, and I always tell my client that. There is a risk of encountering less competent attorneys, which can negatively impact your application. In summary, in this video, we have discussed the pros and cons of using an immigration attorney for your EB-2 NIW green card application. The expertise and support they provide can be invaluable, but the cost and potential drawbacks should also be considered. You have to weigh these factors carefully to decide what is best for your situation.